Say it with me. I refuse to remain the same. Each day, I'm growing, learning, and evolving into a better version of myself. What I was yesterday is not who I am today, and I will continue striving to be the best I can be. The season has changed. Welcome to Unfiltered Grace. I am your host, Ntabi. Hey, Grace Fam, welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Grace. This video is inspired by a recent event that I was honored at, where I was honored to be one of the speakers. And I thought of just doing this as just a video, but because I've been doing solo episodes on Unfiltered Grace, I think it does fit, and let that be inspired by the event that I did. Now, before I go any further, I just picked my affirmation card for the day. I've been on this role to reaffirm myself and to even engage with some of my community to do the same. Even with the speaking engagements that I've been doing, it's been a lot of that, where we get to have a moment where we reaffirm ourselves. So my card reads, you must find that place inside of yourself where nothing is impossible. You can believe. And how is this reaffirming me? It's basically saying that there's something inside of me that is amazing. And coincidentally enough, when I was at the event, there was this amazing band that was playing. I hope I can put a little clip there. Great band that was playing, and one of the songs that they played was by Lyra, Something Inside So Strong. You know I cannot sing to save my life, but I'm gonna go and try sing along. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. So you told me for so long. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Yeah, let me not mess the lyrics, but there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. I think that part for me says it all. So meaning there's something inside of me that is amazing, and there's that power within me, and I strongly believe that with all of my heart, that there's so much power within ourselves. It doesn't matter the journey, it doesn't matter the situations we go through, it doesn't matter what, that's something special about you. I don't care who you are, what you were told, there's something special about you. But anyway, this was for me. Oopsie, sorry, I held the mic there. This was basically for me, right? To say that I need to find that place inside of me where nothing is impossible. And I'm glad that this is a testimony to my life, to say I believe that nothing can stand in my way. And you know, one of the things that I got to share at the event was exactly that, to say, I'll go into detail later, but I've experienced something in my growing stages that made me realize that nothing, literally nothing, can stand in my way. I can thrive in all ways possible. And what I'm trying to say actually is that when something great is happening in your life, or when you are able to overcome any obstacle, like, you can thrive, you can conquer just about anything. And of course, when your faith is on another level, I'm telling you, nothing can stand in your way. So let's talk about your faith. How strong are you? How firm are you in your faith? Are you firm enough? Are you, I'm asking you that because it's very important. It's a very important part, especially as you journey through life. It's also so important to know to your foundation, right? How is your foundation stage? And foundation, I think with the foundation part, often when it comes to relationships, that's where now you try to push the foundation thing, that okay, the foundation has to be great, the foundation has to be very solid before we can even move on to talking about marriage, kids, and all of that. But now, how is your foundation as an individual? How strong is your foundation as an individual? Because if your personal foundation is not firm enough, if what you've built for yourself, the strength that you had to gather, the knowledge, the power within yourself, your self-awareness, the power that is in you, your capabilities, how is the foundation? Can you say that your mind is at the point where it is matured enough to make proper decisions? Can you say that when you going through situations, you are able to somehow find a way to overcome them? I mean, it's very important. And actually today I shared that video earlier on my social platforms. By the way, I am Real Talk with Ntabi on social media platforms. Any platform, Real Talk with Ntabi, except for LinkedIn, where I'm Lebogang Lebogang Tabi Mokhosi, and Facebook Lebogang Tabi Mokhosi. But on Facebook as well, I have a Real Talk with Ntabi page as well there. So what I shared earlier was that it's very important to understand that being motivated is not enough to really take over the world or to just keep being in charge all the time. Don't lose me here. I spoke about the motivation versus discipline. So meaning you need to find a way to make these coexist in your life, but also taking motivation with a pinch of salt to say, yes, you can be motivated, but what happens when you face challenges? What happens when you are not strong enough to deal with whatever situation that you're going through? So in this case, what usually happens is that when you struggle to really deal with a situation, you stay in it. And staying in it means that you're going to entertain it and just let it control even other areas of your lives, which can be something that becomes major and be detrimental to your life, to your well-being, to your health. It can affect every area of your life. It can affect your work, it can affect your business, it can affect your health, your friendships, your relationships, everything. So there has to be a balance. And I'm not trying to be ignorant on the fact that also when I go through something, I do not somehow cry or decide I just want to lay in bed and do nothing, or I just want to isolate and just be on my own and do nothing, eat chips. You know what I mean? Sometimes you feel that way, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can have moments where you cry. You can have moments where you just listen, and entertain that feeling, but you cannot afford to stay there. It's very important to know when to tap out of it. And now this is now where the foundation and your faith comes in, where you find the balance and you find the strength in both to say, okay, am I firm in my faith? And I know I'm going through this, but I cannot remain here, because in as much as I can cry and do whatever, this problem is not going to be solved by my tears drying up and then everything is back to normal. No, you're going to have to wipe the tears and then think, okay, this is what I'm going through. What's the next step? You'll need to be praying about it. Also, you'll need to be putting a bit of action, because I do believe in this thing, in the saying, Mudimu utusa by tusang. So what that means, God helps those that help themselves, because I believe that God has given us tools through the word, and he has affirmed that he is with us and he will never forsake us nor leave us. And we have gotten to see the power that he carries in terms of just carrying us through any challenges. So you cannot just sit and hope for a miracle to happen. You need to be faithful and believe that things are working together for your good. You wipe your tears and then you get up and keep going. I loved one podcast of a client of mine, a sister of mine, Mrs. Kelly Can. Her podcast is called The Unstoppable Queens Network. that is on YouTube. And she recently did a video with one of the lady pastors, and that episode was amazing. And she said something that really stuck with me. She said that your blessings are gonna find you, are gonna find you doing something. So meaning you are not gonna go through a challenge and then sit and do nothing. Instead, you're gonna keep going and allow yourself to find, to find your blessings somewhere as you go. God has answered you, but He will reveal as you go. You can't just sit and be stagnant and feel sorry for yourself. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I hope that part spoke to you, and I hope that you got something out of that. So I want to dive in deeper into the topic itself that I got to speak on, which is resilience and overcoming adversity. But first of all, I really want to honor the MEC, right? I was in the presence of MEC Kinetswe Mosenuchi, which is a woman in Provincial Treasury, who is really making moves for women. And I think something that I never got to utter to her as I was doing my speech was that I really admire the work that she does. I admire a woman that will not only set a table, but set a table and invite other women to sit and enjoy the feast, enjoy the meal together. So what I'm trying to say is a woman that pays attention to the development of other women, their businesses, and investing in that, for me, is powerful. I mean, the department itself was able to really connect a lot of businesses, especially women-owned businesses, help them with funding, help them grow their businesses. And that to me says that there is hope for us women. There is, nothing is impossible. There are possibilities for us because we are led by amazing women like MEC doing that, allowing women to thrive in what they do, and of course giving them that support structure. And you know what, in my family background, we have the Mosenuchis. So I kept thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, maybe me and the MEC somehow are related, maybe there's a relation. And I actually asked my dad, and he was like, yeah, I know. I mean, she is a part of us. And I was like, you know what? Remember that TikTok video of or channel of the lady who keeps saying, uyamazi Miriam Makeba lo otkula what yamas Antoine. So can I take this moment? Uyamazi MEC Mosanuch from Provincial Treasury in the Northwest. Uyamazi? Chomi uyamazi? I get that time when unso, yeah, chomi uyamazi. Yeah. Antoine. Chomi unamanga. Nyakchela. Nyakchela. Yabona lawyer who makes sure that women are leveling up, they have their business going, and they are thriving. Antoine. Nyakchela. Not me claiming the MEC to be my aunt. Nyakchela chom. If you don't believe me, get a house. It's fine. Okay, let's move on. All right, so I want to point out some of the things that I remember. I was a speaker there, but at the same time, I was there to listen and learn. And I think it's very important as an individual to be in a room and be willing to be a learner. You can never, I was invited as a speaker, I was going to be listened to, but that does not mean I do not have to listen. So listening for me is very important. And I'm also grateful that I even got to speak later on the program, Actually, I was the last speaker. What am I saying? I was the very, very last speaker on the program. And that to me, I looked at it as a blessing because I got to sit in each and every conversation that each and every person was sharing, from the MEC, from the different speakers, and those that the collaborations that they had, women from different departments. We had someone from APSA as well. So it was really a blessing to have been in that room at that time. So one of the things that the MBC pointed out was the importance of innovation for women, right? And she mentioned Portia M, for example. If you know Portia M, you know that she's a lady from, I think she's from Polokwane or Limpopo, between the two. And she started a skincare brand, and like from serums and all of that. And she started all of this in her kitchen, right? And that to me was inspiring because what the MEC was saying, she was emphasizing the fact that you don't need to block your creativity or your ideas, and meaning you can start somewhere with whatever that you have. You could have an idea to create a candle, to do something. You can start where you are. This table right here, you can't see it, but the table here, if you have a table like this and then there's something that you can do on top of this table, then you do it, right? You start here. You don't have to want to have everything. It's the same thing as me doing this podcast. I don't have multiple cameras where I look there, you see this other angle and all of that. I have one camera at the moment. But does that mean I'm not making it work? I'm making it work. I don't have a guest today. Podcasting is more of having a conversation with different people and all of that. But if I don't have a guest, does that mean I cannot have a conversation? You know what I mean? Also, you want to start a YouTube channel, you have your phone, but you keep saying, I want the camera and whatnot, but yet you have content in place and you're waiting to get a camera. How many creators out there that are making it and killing it in the social media space with just using their phones? And case in point, let's take the other platforms as well. Your TikTok, your Instagram, even Facebook now is like hardcore on Reels as well. And because now it's monetized, I can see like a lot of creators are just piling up on Facebook, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is that there is nothing that is stopping you. You can be creative. You can think of things that you want to do. And I believe that innovation for women, right, is innovation for the society. If you can empower women, if a woman can do magic, listen, everyone else is set. A woman can have 2 potatoes in the fridge and an onion, soup, maybe 2 pieces of meat in a household of about 4 to 5 people. She can create a meal out of that, a killer meal rather, where the food becomes delicious, hearty, homey, and all of that, right? So what I'm trying to say is that as women, we really have so much power in us and we can do wonders. No disrespect to guys. You can do, like, okay, I'm speaking for my women. Let me not even talk about them. We are talking about women right now, but yeah, you get my point. So we are really powerful. We are gifted, and let's not underestimate ourselves. Let's not do that. And she also pointed out that we can rise as communities and thrive, right? And that we are capable. And when I think at the beginning, when she said that in as much as we are celebrating women, because this was a celebration of women, right? In as much as we are celebrating this day, women celebrating us, it's important that you celebrate yourself. And I was like, that is beautiful. We don't often celebrate ourselves. We keep going, but we forget to take a moment and celebrate ourselves, right? And it takes me back now to the topic itself, or the conversation on resilience and overcoming adversity. And one of the things I pointed out was if you had to, for example, remove all the titles in your life, your position, all of that, if you were to be in a room and it's closed and you have nothing on you, no LV top, no LV bag, no nails, no hair, no makeup, nothing. You've got nothing, and you are in the room, it's just you. How will you look at yourself in the mirror? What will you see? Will you still be able to appreciate yourself, or do you appreciate yourself more because of what you have, your positions, your all of that? It's very important to ask yourself that, because there's nothing wrong with striving to have titles, to have great positions, to be something great or someone great. Listen, I thrive for that. I am for that. I am for that. But I also want you to continue humbling yourself and always recentering yourself and asking yourself, okay, who is Ntabi without all of this? Who is Ntabi without all these things that she wants? All right. And where is Ntabi's gratitude level or faith in this position? You know, even without anything, even with something. And I'm saying all of this because assume that life happens and then you get to lose certain things that you have, for example. How will that make you feel? Will you lose yourself? Do you get what I mean? And I'm not trying to be negative to say, okay, have a mindset of, okay, there's a possibility that I might lose something. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say is be humble enough to really want great things for yourself, but also be content with what you have. Be content with what you have. That's something that I want you to do. Be content with what you have. And now, because the conversation was not only celebrating women and talking about the challenges we've been through, it was important for me to also point out some of the tools that one can really use in terms of creating that greater foundation for themselves, right? So I've been reading this book, The Diary of a CEO. Oh, I love this book. I love this book so much. And from the beginning, obviously it speaks about 33 laws of life and business. And for me, if you're gonna talk about business and life, you're talking to me, because listen, we are living and we want to thrive. We want to see our life change. We want better lives and all that. So that to me, I was like, okay, I'm really loving this. And the book at the beginning speaks about, filling the 5 buckets, in order, like just have an order of it, 5 buckets of your life. You can call it of your life, right? And I'll just read through those buckets and kind of summarize them, because I think even when I was speaking, I touched on them, but I think I'm emphasized more on certain ones, not the others and all that. But let me quickly do that. So the first one says, what you know, meaning what's your knowledge, like what your knowledge is. And that to me was an important point to also put across, to say it's very important to know, like, your intellectual property. Are you sharp enough? Can you be in rooms and hold conversations? Can your knowledge work for you, right? In a work environment, how much do you know? How much are you even willing to know? How do you constantly upskill yourself? I was never one to be a reader and all of that until I got, to be introduced to a community where I got to have more people reading and book recommendations were done. And I got to start reading and all of that, which also helped me. And I remember I used to be very insecure about my English. I felt like my English is not that great and all of that. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to read more and all of that. I used to be a little bit insecure and all that. But I had to give myself grace and say, you know what? I shouldn't be hard on myself. If I can hold a conversation and if I can even speak my simple English, but still put a point across, then I'm okay. All right. So yeah, knowledge is very important. You need to invest in that. What what you can do, your skills. I think I'll speak for myself to say that when I found myself in the position where sometimes I would be working and maybe the salary is not enough, I would use my skills to also do freelance work where I would find more ways to make extra income. That really helped me. So I used the skills that I've acquired in my studying and all that to be able to open that door for myself. Even when I lost my job, I was able to do that. All right. And yes, even though sometimes business is great, it fluctuates, like, there's ups and downs, that skill also enables me to also think and be creative to say, okay, what can I do? What do I know? What do I see? That's also where knowledge is. How much do you know and what are you aware of? What's happening in your industry? What can you do? How can you grow yourself? How can you spot opportunities that are available? Right? So the other one says who you know, your network. So I think I'm a very shy person. But something I had to learn was to network. If I find myself in rooms, I really need to really put myself out there. And I think for me, I've found it so easy because I think most of the time I've found myself connecting a lot with people. People find it easy to connect with me. And a lot of things that I keep hearing is the beautiful aura that I have, the kindness that I have, my beautiful smile, my beautiful heart. So I think that has kind of made it easy for me to connect with people in the room and to kind of have a conversation. And I'm a free spirited person and I'm able to kind of connect. Even if I meet you today, I'm able to connect. I'm able to read the room. We can connect and have a conversation as if we've met 5 years ago or 2 years ago, or we are friends. So I'm able to do that. So I think that's what makes it easy. So networking is quite important, and networking does not always mean, okay, just because you're friendly and whatnot, that's it. Also, it's like, okay, which rooms do you find yourself in, and what level of networking are you doing, right? Is this the kind of networking that will, you know require you to do a sales pitch, or yeah, a sales pitch, for example, where you talk about your business, you talk about who you are and what you do, and who knows, that could open an opportunity for you to connect or collaborate and do something with someone, right, with other people. Also, the other one is, what do you have, right? Your resources. Like, for example, I have this camera that I'm using to create this content, right? I'm able to monetize or make money through this camera, for example, where I get to shoot content for clients and all of that. So your resources can also open, some doors for you. So you must take note of that. And then lastly, what the world thinks of you, your reputation. I don't care what people think about me, for example, but I think it's very important for us to also take note of the fact that we even see it on social media where you say something that is out of the ordinary and you are immediately cancelled. That's like the power of the internet. So meaning, if, for example, you've created a brand for yourself, a name for yourself, and then only to say something that goes against what you've built or what you've created, that could affect, your name or the name that you've created for yourself. And if you a person who works with different brands and different organizations and all that are exposed to your platforms and all that, you might lose opportunities because of that thing. So protecting your reputation is very important. Yeah. Now, more on the fun stuff. And the fun stuff will be quick and easy, I promise. I'm not going to go deeper and deeper. I'm not sure if it's the fun stuff in actual fact, because I think we are all going through something. We are all going through something, and being resilient sometimes is not easy. But I'm going to say this to you. Khana ka wena. Khana ka wena, ngwana ko gae, khana ka wena. Refuse for this world to take you for a ride. Refuse to allow any situation to just turn you into something that you're not. Refuse. Khana ka wena. Refuse to be a victim of poverty, a victim of abuse, a victim of whatever. Like, refuse. Khana ka wena. And I mean, certain things are easier said than done. And, you know, when we speak about, you know, like being a victim of abuse, sometimes it's not something that you get in and you are aware it's happening and you are aware of it. Sometimes you get there, you are manipulated, and you're only realizing that, mosmo, ke ne ke tsena mo tronkong. You know, I was putting myself in jail without realizing. You thought it was love, only to find that it was something else. Or you find being bullied at work, people not treating you right, like that, just so many things, right? But refuse. Khana ka wena. And I think that's where now the importance of having knowledge and knowing your rights and knowing your worth and knowing how to stand firm and understanding who you are and whom you are, right? It's very, very important. As I'm going to conclude this video, I think let's be mindful of the fact that as we journey through life, we will experience challenges. As we journey through life, we will go through something. And going through something does not mean there's actually something wrong with you, but it means that you are growing, right? I don't call it a struggle. I don't think you are struggling, but we can call it uncomfortable growth. Uncomfortable growth in a way that you will face challenges in your life that are uncomfortable, that really leaves you questioning a lot of things, that requires you to step out of your comfort zone or to even go an extra mile, that requires you to tap into a strength that you never thought you'll have in your life. And ke bophelo. I mean, case in point, I didn't know that I would be in love and be married and then having to make a decision where I say, I want out. I want to divorce. I'm leaving my marriage. That requires big panties. I had to put in my big panties and make that decision because I had to weigh options and to be realistic with self, because certain things are not just, you don't just wake up and decide, oh, okay, no, I don't want to eat oats this morning. I want to have English breakfast. I just want to have eggs, or I just want to have a smoothie. It's not like that. Some life challenges, you have to think. You have to really dig deep and really do the inside work. So I found myself there. But did that leave me broken? To some extent it did. But I had to realize that I couldn't stay there. Remember what I mentioned earlier, you cannot stay in a situation. You always need to find a way to tap out of it. I had to work on myself and heal. I mean, I even did a series on my channel about it. My divorce series and all that. I shared a glimpse of it, of my journey, right? But I had to heal. I was not gonna just shoot straight and go into having that conversation without going through the healing process, right? I had to heal the fact that while we're still married, you know, when we were now ready to have a child, when we were trying and it was not happening, you know, you're ready physically, mentally, you are ready to have a child, but it was not happening. So that on its own requires healing, because okay, the marriage is over. You already had the picture of being a mother at some point and it didn't happen. So that also required healing, for example. So really, challenges in life really requires us to understand that it's a journey. It's a journey. And it's easy for us to say, God, but why me? You know, it's easy for us to say, God, why am I going through this so many times and all of that? And I stopped doing that. You know why? Because I could see that every challenge that I experience, it's actually a blessing in disguise because I always come out stronger. And I'm not saying I'm happy with God putting all these problems or these challenges on me and all that. No, no. I also deserve a break. I'm your baby. Like, I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. I also need my joyful moments and all of that. I also need a break. I also need to have a stress-free life. I deserve that. And I know that even as I'm going through things, it's just seasonal. It's a season that will pass, right? It's a season that will pass. I mean, we really can't question God's ways, you know. We just have to be more kind with each other, and we need to be very considerate. Like, for example, there are some women out there that it's hard for them to deal with this because the doctors told them they cannot have children, and they really want children and they cannot have children. And then when you come from nowhere, when are you having a child? When are you having a baby? You know, or one has lost their child. You know, you carry your child for 9 months. You know, I have a beautiful little nephew. Oh, I'm so obsessed with him. I'm so obsessed. Let me see if I cannot show. I don't know if you can see him. I'm too far. You won't be able to see. So I have this. If you want to see him, go to my Instagram. You'll see him. Oh, he's an amazing baby boy. Like, he's amazing. He's just over a year and a few months now. So amazing. Like, so amazing. That's my bestie. Like, we are besties. I love him to bits. So where I was going with this point is that having had witnessed my sister go through the journey of her pregnancy and being able to deliver the baby and with no issues, God being in the present, you know, that was a blessing and a great, like, a graceful moment, because some women get into labor rooms and then they get out without their kids, or either they don't get out, both of them don't make it, or one of them don't make it, and all of that. I have people close to me that I'm actually getting emotional on this, but yeah, I have people that I know, even a close friend that had two beautiful babies and they were taken away from her. She was able to see them live, but one left and then another left. So you can just imagine that. So there are women that are actually going through the most. So let's be more kind and be mindful that there's someone out there who is going through the worst. Because I cannot imagine someone who carried a seed for 9 months, feeling the baby cake, feeling every moment, and only for that moment to be taken away 9 months later or 10 months later. You know, some babies come out and then they're crying a bit, and then the next thing they stopped breathing, or whatever the case may be. That a lot of things happen. Okay, we're not trying to get emotional, but I hope that makes you understand the importance of being mindful and understanding how this can really affect another person. So be more kind. Now, as I wrap up this video, I think a few points that I can leave you with regards to overcoming adversity is that it's very important to be self-aware. Be self-aware, and be self-aware in terms of who you are as a person, what you want as a person, and what is happening around you. You know, what are your boundaries? What are you allowing? What are you letting into your life, right? Because I think we are responsible for everything that happens around us. You know, you have an opportunity to say yes and to say no to something. You have an opportunity to step aside or take a step back from something that does not make you happy or that does not serve you. So it's quite important to do that. So I'm not sure what area of your life needs to be decluttered, but I hope that this is a reminder that you need to declutter certain things in your life, right? Please do that. You need to do that. You need to do that. And I'm fortunate that even through my journey where, like for example, in December I lost my job, and when my contract ended, it was a little bit hard, it was a bit hard where, you have to think of, okay, how am I going to cover my bills? How am I going to do that and all that? But I had so much support around me where I got to have people that are able to hold my hand in moments where things are just not going great. So you need support in your life. You cannot do certain things alone. And yes, you have God. Yes, you pray, but God also sends people your way to be of help to you or to hold your hand. I'm grateful for my siblings. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for just my family overall, the support. Like, it's just super amazing. And when you really, I'm the firstborn daughter, you know, firstborn daughter, the story of firstborn daughters is deep, because it's like you carry so much. And I've always been the firstborn daughter who actually is like the go-to person, right? The go-to person, the strength of the family. Someone said I was and I believe it, because two people, a friend of mine, we once went on vacation at some point, and there was this book that she was reading, and she was reading this portion of different types of people, and I happened to come out strong on the fixer, right? So for the longest time I've been the fixer. Even now, for example, my nephew, sometimes there would be times where something needs to be done. I would be the one wanting to say, no, do this, do that. And I'm not even the mom, okay? But I would, say to my sister, this is what you have to do and all that. And sometimes it's like you need to step back a little bit and allow other people to take over. So it has always been like that, where I'm the go-to person, not the other way around, where I go. And like, if there's something, it's like I'm willing to raise my hand. And I think also this is something that I had declared growing up, when I said that, okay, this video is going to be an hour. Clearly, I still have more to say, but if you're still watching, I appreciate you. It means that this video is speaking to you. Thank you, and I appreciate you. Do comment and tell me, what are you taking from this? I appreciate it. So, where was I? Ooh, and that was a good point that I had to bring out. So, in my journey of just growing up and all that, I've said to God that may I please be the change I wish to see in my family. And this was from looking at the situation at home where we were living in a shack for over 30 years. And that to me was an uncomfortable thing, because I really wanted to see us having a home and all of that. And as time progressed, God granted me the opportunity to study, to graduate, and also to work and have a bit of savings and start the project. And to be able to speak now with a 4-bedroom house built for my family that we're living in, for me is like a beautiful moment that I'll treasure forever, that I will continue holding on to. And it's one moment that says to me that nothing can stand in your way. Nothing can shake you. Nothing is impossible. I think that affirmation earlier said that, you need to find that thing inside of you when nothing is impossible. And this for me says that nothing is impossible. If I'm able to have a vision board, go to school, go to university, and every day when I walk to school, I would see this house. And I remember I took a picture of that house, put it in my room, Now that was, call it a vision board, right? That was my vision board. The house was the vision board, because in my room I had a picture of the house, picture of my family. Like, I had pictures of my family around my place because I felt like I wanted to be closer to them. Family over everything. That's me. I'm hopeless when it comes to family. That's just me. And I'm grateful to still have my family. So grateful. So it's like I manifested that, and to see it come to life for me is like, you know, great. So in closing, that for me was a big deal. But to now have, things turning around where you now need help, you can't really do much because of what you're going through during that season. It was a bit hard, but to see my family coming through for me, my friends and all that, thank you, like, grateful. And this is me. If those that have played a huge role in my life as I've been going through a season of discomfort, I just want to take this moment and say thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for holding my hand. You don't know how much that means. You don't know how that keeps me going. I appreciate it. And of course, I cannot sit here and not be grateful to God, because really I have seen what He has done in my life, and I know what more He can and will do. This is my famous quote, by the way, but this famous quote is not just a quote. It's a quote that really speaks life, because I've really seen God work. I'm still seeing him work, even in this very moment. So call this a God moment, okay? Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. That was, wow, what a conversation. That was quite long, hey? That was quite long, but I hope you took something out of this. I personally took a lot out of it, and I hope that you get to capture something for yourself and run with it. Even if it's just one point, run with it. All right. Last but not least, let me take this opportunity to thank the Provincial Treasury for inviting me as one of their speakers. I am super grateful to have been in that room. It is quite an honor. Much respect to the MEC, to everyone that had organized the event. Beautiful event. And thank you to all the amazing ladies that got into lend me their ears and also show me so much love and gratitude. You all gave me so much love, and your feedback was amazing, and I appreciate it so much. Anyway, real fam, if you're here, you were not part of the event, listen, this was your lucky day as well to get into the conversation, know what was happening in the room. It was fire. It was amazing, and I'm grateful. That's why now I could even go on for an hour. Like, whoa. That's why I'm going on and on. But yeah, I hope you took something out of this. I love and appreciate you. Remember that the season has changed, and maybe, just maybe, this is your season to change things around. All right? We are all flourishing. We are all blossoming. We are all led by the Most High. It's going to be okay. In actual fact, all is good. Okay, love you. Cheers for now.